The resilient Jenkins' youngest daughter, which is baby Manova, is looking very concerningly different in the recent video that they just uploaded, and we have to talk about it. Now, Stephanie uploaded a new video today, and she's holding Manova, and you can see that Manova's eyes are very crossed, and she has never looked like that before. Now, before we jump to conclusions about what we're seeing here, let's just take a look at the side-by-side of baby Manova's eyes a month ago and baby Manova's eyes now. And I'm not trying to come for her baby or nothing. I'm just saying, like, there is clearly a big physical difference, and you can go and look at her video and see it for yourself. One of the daughters has a bald patch in her head, and then the oldest daughter was just yelled at on live and told F you. Now, y'all can get mad at me for bringing this all up, but something is clearly going on here. The signs are there, and this is very concerning for those kids. I just don't think it's normal for her baby's age for her eyes to be crossing like that. Y'all gotta let me know what you think down in the comments.
Drew Jenkins has left Stephanie Jenkins and they are fighting now. You can tell that they are because she's not being more in your face about it. She's being a little more subtle, but still the hate is there. But go ahead and follow me for more videos like this. I post frequently, sometimes 1, 2, 3, 10 times a day. But yeah, okay, let's get back to what I'm saying. In this latest video of Stephanie Jenkins, she's basically talking about how Drew always takes the kids late to school, and that when she's actually doing it, she gets them there on time. And then which is funny, like the kids telling her without meaning to, because you can see the kids are running to school. I don't care how excited your kids are. Okay, let's play both points. If her kids are so excited to go to school, maybe it's just because the kids want to go somewhere where maybe they are taken care of, they're learning, they're engaged, and they're not all living like, you know, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Or they're late.
Hey, my fabulous gossip lovers, welcome back! Before we dive into today's Hot Mess Express, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from and what time it is in your corner of the world. And if you're feeling the vibe, do me a solid, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a beat. Now, let's get into it. Today we're talking about the one and only Stephanie Jenkins, aka Stephanie Thompson, and a little piece of paper that's causing a lot of drama. Allegedly. You see, divorce records have been discovered online, and they paint a picture that is, let's just say, a little different from the one we've been hearing. We're talking about a disillusion of marriage with children, and guess who the petitioner is? It's not our girl Stephanie. It's her legally bound, currently incarcerated, convicted felon husband, the one who is a registered alleged predator. Yes, you heard me right. He served her the papers. The online rumor mill is buzzing, and it begs the question, why won't she sign them? This man, who pled to multiple charges of assaulting children and allegedly attempted to assault an elderly female family member, is the one who initiated the split. And she's the one holding the pen. It's a head-scratcher, isn't it? Especially when you consider the narrative she's been spinning. Now, you might be thinking, well, maybe she can't afford it. Divorce is expensive. That would be a logical, and dare I say almost sympathetic thought. But allegedly, that's not the case. According to online chatter, her own mother offered to foot the entire bill for the divorce, and she turned it down at the last minute. So, if it's not a financial issue, what is it?
Has posted yet another Facebook rant, and before we read it together, I just want to remind you guys that she gets paid from Facebook to make these ridiculous posts. The more people engage with it, the more she gets paid. Post reads, I remember when I was going through this exact same thing with Bubba. He was on a different sleep schedule than the rest of the family, around 6 months old. At the time, we were in our one-bedroom apartment. I would wake up at whatever time he got up and just sit with him, trying to get him entertained while keeping the rest of the home asleep. Find that one spot in the one bedroom that he could do his baby thing. I found it spiritually challenging every morning.
Some are speculating there's an emotional entanglement that keeps her tied to this man, but from a logical standpoint, it makes absolutely zero sense. You're in a new relationship with another man, another alleged bum, as some online creators have so charitably put it, yet you're legally tethered to a convicted individual. It's giving, make it make sense, but it's just not. This all came to a head in a recent video, which I, of course, watched for free on Reddit. You know I'm not paying for that. Stephanie was expressing her confusion. She was like, why do people say if I leave Drew, I'll get more support? Why can't I have that support while I'm with Drew? And my dear friends, the answer is so simple, it's practically shouting at us. Any support you get right now is also, by default, supporting Drew. We're talking about a man who allegedly abandoned his first son and has gone through every single legal and bureaucratic hoop to avoid paying child support. That's why people aren't supporting you as a couple. They don't want to support him. It's that simple.
Because it wears on a person feeling like you just can't get that support back. And to be me that gets the extra hour of sleep just one time. Why can't my partner get up with the baby just one time and do the hard part of entertaining a very active baby? I don't know, Stephanie, why are you asking us? Why aren't you asking Drew? She goes on this weird rant about how her baby girl was a complete accident. And that is the only part that really bothered me, because you were saying God just wanted to make sure that you had this baby girl in this motel room. But not only is she blaming Drew again, calling him a horrible partner, now she's saying this is the life that God wanted for her kids. So for real, Stephanie, so please do not engage with her posts. If you guys want to talk about it here. No amount of money is going to ever save this woman.
He's a deadbeat, and any kindness shown to you trickles down to him. It's a 1-2 punch of a bad look. For the last year, social media has been her lifeline, allegedly paying her bills every single month. And yet, where has it gotten her? In a motel, still, after 6 or 7 months. Meanwhile, she has an able-bodied man allegedly lagging in her bed, who, according to online whispers, refuses to do what it takes to provide for his kids. It's a pattern, a cycle of terrible life choices. She keeps attaching herself to these men, and then she acts surprised when the public turns on her. Why don't people like me? She wonders. Well, your husband is an alleged predator, and your current boyfriend has a list of red flags as long as my arm. You're allegedly loving this man to the detriment of your own children, all for a person who, if rumors are to be believed, doesn't even love you back. It also raises another question. Is the voucher for the shelter she's in only for her and her kids? Is that why they're in such a tiny room with just a small bathroom? It would explain why Drew isn't mentioned as part of the equation, at least not officially. Just putting that out there. And speaking of questions, let's not forget the one that's been hanging in the air for almost a year now. Last October, she promised to tell us why her son Deshaun got a black eye. She said accidents happen. It's been almost a year. We're still waiting for the excuse. What is it? You've had all this time to come up with something. Anything. The silence is deafening.
So let me get this straight. The resilient Jenkins Drew side piece page is all of a sudden gone now. I find that quite hilarious after I've been telling y'all that it's Mama D. Pretty much the only person that has been going live with her. And she has the nerve to say that it's me on that page going live with her, or my friend going live with her. Girl, I don't even fuck with you or associate with you, so why the fuck would I do that? This is what I mean by this girl makes no motherfucking sense. She done already told people that some girl pulled up at my grandma's house and I didn't come outside. Like, girl, nobody fucking did that. It's like, do you not hear how you sound? Like, how are you even associating with somebody that would even come near my grandma's house when you live in Maryland? She has literally been stalking me for months, and I have been talking about it for months. She's already said that her and her man have argued over this. Donna's boyfriend lost his job at Amazon because of the resilient Jenkins. And she says that she's suing me because I accuse her of being Drew's side piece page. It's literally obvious that you're just embarrassed that you got caught talking to Drew out of all people in the world. Like, you were literally entertaining this man and getting him to cheat on his woman for views and attention, because you haven't been past 30-something K in, like, I don't know how long.
This brings us back to the divorce papers. If she was the one who allegedly wanted to leave her registered offender husband, then why is he the one who petitioned the court? Why is he the one who initiated it? The public records, which are all over Reddit, tell a very different story from the one she's been telling. But wait, there's more. The youngest daughter, baby Manova, has been looking very concerningly different in a recent video. A lot of people have noticed it, and so have I. Stephanie uploaded a video holding Manova, and you can clearly see that the baby's eyes are very crossed, a look she has never had before. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not trying to jump to conclusions or come for her baby, but the visual difference is undeniable. Just look at the side-by-side of her eyes a month ago versus now. Something is clearly going on. And it's not just that. The signs are everywhere. One of the other daughters has an alleged bald patch on her head, and the oldest daughter was just recently yelled at on a live stream and allegedly told, F you. Y'all can get mad at me for bringing this up, but it's concerning. These are real kids, and the alleged red flags are impossible to ignore. I just don't think it's normal for a baby of that age to have her eyes crossing like that. But, again, I'm just an armchair commentator with a YouTube channel. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Okay, so after all this, Stephanie finally addressed the ex-husband situation on a recent social media post, which she, of course, wrote. Go ahead and read it for yourselves or just pause the video. She said it would have cost her an initial $12,000 to divorce him, so she didn't. Excuse me? 12 grand? Did he own the Krusty Krab? How much money could he possibly have that it would cost that much to get a divorce? I know people are going to come for me and say that divorce is expensive. I get it. I know. But come on, something smells fishy. And on the topic of money, how is she qualifying for WIC? How does she get free? Like, everything? So the fact that she's using WIC, and there's always an income cap, is all the proof some people need to allege fraud.
Okay, so Stephanie finally addressed the whole ex-husband thing, only he's not her ex-husband, we know that, but this is what she wrote. Go ahead and read it really quick, or pause it. She said it would have cost her initially 12 grand to divorce him, so she didn't. Excuse me? Did he own the Krusty Krab? Like, how much money could he possibly have that it would cost 12 grand to divorce him? Now, people are going to come for me and saying, yeah, it's really expensive to divorce. I know that. I know. But come on. Also, why is she getting free, like, WIC, I guess? Why? How does she qualify for WIC if I couldn't qualify for WIC when I wasn't working? I didn't have a content creator fund. I didn't have anything. I did not qualify because my husband made too much money as a government employee. Yeah. So that's all the proof that I needed, baby. The fact that she's using WIC, and now you can definitely declare fraud because there is always a cap of income. So there you go.
Just saying. The numbers aren't adding up. Now, if you're a viewer of Resilient Jenkins content, which you obviously must be because you're here with me, you've probably seen a new character pop up in the comments, a person claiming to be pregnant with Drew's baby. This person is on every single creator's page, boldly stating, "Hey, I'm pregnant for Drew. Come look at me. Come talk about me." So like any good independent journalist, I went to their page to investigate. And what did I find? At least 7 videos, none of them showing a face. You could hear a voice, but it could be anyone. This is a red flag. If you're so boldly shouting from the rooftops that you're pregnant for Drew and you want attention, why are you hiding? Why aren't you showing your face? I decided right then and there that this was likely not a legitimate person.
Okay, I can talk about it a little more now. I'm not ready to show my face because I don't want the horde of angry Stephanie followers to find out who I am and dox me. I have other kids. I don't want them to show up at my house. The phone call went okay. He was very hush-hush. I think Stephanie was by him. He didn't want to talk over the phone, which I'm kind of excited about this. This is still my baby, regardless. I hope he's there. If he's not, I don't play these games. I will go straight to file through Oregon to get child support. I don't care. I don't play these games. You lay down. You're going to help me. I'll let you know how it goes.
We have to start using our context clues and stop being so gullible, people. Anyone who would come out so boldly in the comments and claim something like that would want the clout. They would want the attention. They would want to be seen. I mean, I wouldn't be coming out saying I'm pregnant for Drew, but if I did, I would obviously want people to come to my page and look at me and hear my story. So, to then go and erase all the evidence? It's suspicious. It's an obvious attempt to gain followers, build a following, and probably join the creator fund to earn money off of the resilient Jenkins drama. It's a nice try, but I'm not taking the bait. I'm not falling for it until someone shows me an ultrasound, shows us the baby, and shows us a DNA test. The videos they deleted were of text messages, but the numbers weren't shown, so it literally could have been anyone. Don't fall for it, y'all.
Did anyone else catch Stephanie throwing shade at Desiree again in her new back-to-school video?
Just want to point out that when mom takes him to school, they're on time. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, Methany, you must think are so slick and smart with that comment, right? Just want to point out that only reason or even allowed to talk to Deshaun is because you refuse to leave the man that cheats on you repeatedly. Mo. Just want to point out that in court it was brought up that Deshaun repeatedly misses school for weeks on end living with you. And no W to Drew. Just want to point out that you couldn't afford to take your kids anywhere fun this summer, but Deshaun and his other siblings went to an amusement park and also had sleepovers. Just want to point out that your insecurities about Drew's exes alienated Deshaun from his real mother, and he was forced to share a one-bedroom with 5 more extra people and now a hotel room with 7 people. What a life you have made for him and your kids. Lastly, just want to point out that you are not his mom.
Speaking of social media, Stephanie hasn't posted new videos on TikTok, but she was on Facebook, where she said something that made me raise an eyebrow. She wants to start collaborating with other creators. She shared a video of a bunch of moms dancing and wearing matching outfits, and she said she knows a lot of people won't work with her and Drew. First of all, why are we talking about Drew? Did he say he wants to do collabs with moms? Because that might end in a whole other situation with a whole other baby. Let's not go there. I get her idea in theory. She wants to create new content with other mothers. But for those mothers, it would come with a negative connotation. To be sitting there dancing and twirling and matching outfits with Stephanie, they would have to completely ignore everything they know about her. I definitely don't see myself doing that. If there was ever a collab, we could sit down and talk about our plans, because we both allegedly have some stuff to work on. But I'm not going to be dancing and wearing matching outfits. I don't see that happening for her. Who would take that bait? It would be a lot to ignore the fact that for several months, we've watched her and her kids allegedly go through a lot of traumatic things. She was literally just allegedly cursing out her daughter the other day. I don't see anything to twirl and laugh and match about, but if that's what she wants, that's what she wants.
I really aren't too hungry in the morning, so I'm just going to do some peanut Cheerios and some strawberries for breakfast. What's up, babe? What's up, baby?
I'm going to tell you what I'm having for breakfast. And then for lunch.
You can't touch anything that's temperature controlled yet today until I actually get the stuff out of the fridge. It can't be anything that has to stay cold. That's why we're only doing the peanut butter and jelly. And then
You smack my ball with that.
I promise you the strawberries will not keep in there. They'll get all weird and mushy. But we're going to cut most of them up for breakfast anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, there's barley and milk in them. Just want to point out that when mom takes him to school, they're on time. That's all I'm going to say about that.
This brings me to another topic I've seen on TikTok that bothers me a little bit. When Stephanie doesn't post, a lot of creators post what I like to call filler videos. These are usually 1-minute videos where they pick apart something from her last video, but it's already been done, so they have to go deep, and it often feels drawn out and makes no sense. It's not engaging. It's literally a 60-second video that gets a lot of views because it has the right hashtag, but the content is just filler. The other day, I saw a creator say, not allegedly, not with air quotes, not with any source, but flat out said, the real reason Stephanie doesn't want to go to work is because she was getting drunk at work. It was a bold statement. I went to the comments to see if anyone else was thinking what I was thinking, and of course they were. People were asking where she heard this from. The creator's response? Oh, it's very easy to find when you work a job like me in technology.
Stephanie just posted on Facebook. Let's read it. Thought y'all might want to see where I got my 200 set of earbuds. Sorry I Had to be petty with this one, because what? Stephanie, is that weed? Is that Mary Jane on your earbuds? Nobody was questioning your headphones. We were questioning Drew's headphones and Drew's Apple Watch. Nothing about those. Nothing about them.
And I'm like, what did you hack into? That's not a source. I'm not a lawyer, but that feels like defamation. A lot of us feel a certain way about Stephanie, but most of us are responsible enough to say allegedly when we're talking about substance abuse or other habits. You can't just boldly say someone is doing something you've never seen with your own eyes, even if you allegedly saw it on your technology. But hey, do you? I'm sure that video made her some money, but I guess everybody's going to do their TikTok their own way. Finally, I want to address the biggest argument I've been seeing in everyone's comments lately. On one side, you have the people saying, keep these kids out of your updates. They're kids. Leave them out of it. On the other side, you have people saying, if there is a concern about the kids, people need to voice it. We can't just say nothing. What I will say is, as far as the baby's eyes go, I noticed it immediately. Heard that if you don't do this, their eyes could get crossed permanently. It's like an old wives' tale, so when I saw it, I thought, she probably just needs to do this. I wasn't majorly concerned, but I definitely noticed it right away. But again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's going on over there.
The resilient Jenkins' youngest daughter, which is baby Manova, is looking very concerningly different in the recent video that they just uploaded, and we have to talk about it. Now, Stephanie uploaded a new video today, and she's holding Manova, and you can see that Manova's eyes are very crossed, and she has never looked like that before. Now, before we jump to conclusions about what we're seeing here, let's just take a look at the side-by-side of baby Manova's eyes a month ago and baby Manova's eyes now. And I'm not trying to come for her baby or nothing. I'm just saying, like, there's clearly a big physical difference, and you can go and look at her video and see it for yourself. One of the daughters has a bald patch in her head, and then the oldest daughter was just yelled at on live and told F you. Now, y'all can get mad at me for bringing this all up, but something is clearly going on here. The signs are there, and this is very concerning for those kids. I just don't think it's normal for her baby's age for her eyes to be crossing like that. Y'all gotta let me know what you think down in the comments.
Now, a normal parent feels a bittersweet mix of emotions on the first day of school. It's a moment of change, of watching your kids grow and become their own people. But for Stephanie, if the online narratives are to be believed, this wasn't about bittersweet feelings. It was a performance. She was framing the beginning of a school year, a healthy and normal milestone for a child, as a personal tragedy, as though her children were being sent off to military exile rather than a safe space to learn and socialize. The irony is absolutely staggering. Her kids were finally getting a chance to breathe fresh air, to escape the suffocating four walls of a dark motel room that had, for months, served as their prison. What made this alleged performance so disgraceful wasn't just the lack of actual tears, but the deep-seated hypocrisy.
You have seen, possibly, in the comments, a person popping up claiming to be pregnant for Drew. This person is popping up on several of the Resilient Jenkins creators' pages in their comments. And in fact, they were one of the first comments on one of my last videos where I asked y'all to remind me about the laundry. Now, right off the bat, this person is in the comments boldly stating, hey, they did remind me to put my clothes in the laundry, but they was also like, hey, I'm pregnant for Drew. I put the eyeball emoji, right? And I never said nothing else. But after I put that eyeball emoji, I then went and used my two eyeballs and went to their page, and there was at least 7 videos. None of them showed the face or anything like that, right? I found this immediately to be odd because if you're hopping on the Resilient Jenkins content, you're hopping on every creator's video, boldly stating, hey, I'm pregnant for Drew, I'm pregnant for Drew, come look at me, come talk about me. Then we go to your page and you're not showing your face. Like, you're making videos, we can hear your voice, but you could be anybody. But you're not showing your face. I'm not taking the bait.
These are the same children who, according to reports, spent their summer being berated, scolded, and paraded online for the world to see. And now, their mother was framing their much-needed escape as a painful personal loss. This wasn't a mother struggling with a bittersweet moment. It was, allegedly, a carefully staged and manipulated display designed to divert attention from CPS scrutiny, to bait sympathy, and to reframe herself as the selfless, broken mother. It's a masterful, albeit disturbing, crash-out performance that reveals far more about her desire to maintain control of her narrative than any genuine heartbreak. Let's talk about the charges. In the court of online commentary, Stephanie Jenkins is accused of manipulation, of crying without tears, and of manufacturing sympathy posts. She's allegedly performing pain not for healing, but for clicks, shares, and donations. She's accused of exposing her children, featuring their stress and suffering as a backdrop for her own narratives.
Okay, so the major argument that I have been seeing in everybody's comments is we have the group of people that are saying, hey, keep these kids out of y'all updates. These are kids. Leave the kids out of it. Keep the kids out of y'all updates. Don't talk about them. Then I see these other people saying, hey, if there's a concern about the kids, people need to voice these concerns. I mean, somebody needs to say something. We can't just not say anything, right? So I've seen these two arguments. What I will say is, as far as this last update goes, for me, I noticed what everybody was talking about immediately. I didn't even read the comments first. Like, I watched the video, and as I was watching the video, I said, the baby's eyes did not need to look like this. But I have my own children, and I remember there were times when my baby's eyes would do this. You just give them a quick one of these. They close their eyes, they open it back up. The eyes are usually back straight. However, you have to be paying attention to your baby to catch this and fix it. I always had heard growing up, I've always heard that you do this or touch the baby right there when their eyes go cross, because if you don't, they can get crossed permanently. This is like something I've heard growing up. Like, it's like an old wives' tale. So when I saw that, I was just thinking, okay, she probably just needs to do this to the baby's eyes. I was not majorly concerned, but I definitely noticed it right away.
And of court violations and recklessness, like hinting at Deshawn's presence online despite restrictions. It's a pattern that shows she values optics over legality. Finally, she's accused of delusion and deflection, reframing the simple, healthy act of kids returning to school as a personal catastrophe. She posted a picture of her kids on their first day of school, and in a move that baffled many, she included a glimpse of Deshawn's leg. She knew the restrictions. She knew the risk. Yet, according to online observers, she let the image stand, as if daring anyone to call her out.
So Stephanie Jenkins posted another Facebook post, and it's literally like she's playing The Sims on hard mode without any expansion packs, and she's just like on build mode, popping out all these kids, no strategy, just producing them. So she posted something on Facebook basically saying, and of course I'm always going to include context for you. I'm always going to, add pictures. But one thing that I don't like that she posted was how she's saying that Drew doesn't support her. Newsflash, you mean a guy who knocked you up, did not marry you, is not helping you take care of your kids. And so Drew's saying stuff like, why, or I guess the excuse why he's not helping Stephanie Jenkins with her baby right now, Momo. The same reason that he didn't help with Bubba, real name Atlas, with, his oldest son, with Deshawn. Like, he just doesn't help his kids. That's not his thing, right? He just makes them and then he goes. But the reason is because Stephanie Jenkins is the one that's producing the milk, so she has to stay up with the kids. He's like, I don't have any milk, so that's why I don't help with the kids. Excuse me, you don't have a job either, but that did not stop you, at all, from buying your PS5, from clocking in with that, from getting your chair, from getting everything that you want in your car. So why does it stop you with helping the baby? But go ahead and follow me for more content like this, because she is ridiculous. And I post daily. More than daily.
This wasn't a careless mistake. It was intentional. A subtle display of defiance. A way to tell her viewers, I still have control, even in the face of legal restrictions. It shows that her need to signal authority and stable online presence allegedly outweighs her respect for the rules put in place to protect her children. The fallout is already here. Viewers who once sympathized now openly call out her crocodile tears. CPS has already stepped in, and her paranoia about further checks is a sign that the scrutiny is tightening.
People who are out here begging for money on on TikTok are lying to you. You already know that. You're a good person. They tug on your heartstrings. Thing is, you don't know exactly how much they're making. If you're accepted for live, at any point you can start making money. When you get gifts, you get about 40% of that gift. If somebody sends a galaxy, it costs them $10 to send. You make approximately $4-5-ish from that. People are making hundreds of dollars a day. If you have over 10,000 followers and you get over 100,000 views in 30 days, you can be entered in the creator reward program. Now, when you meet those criteria and you post a video that's a minute or longer, you have an opportunity to get paid for it. How you get paid is called an RPM, rate per minute. And it's anywhere from 10 cents to like $1.50.
Her reputation has gone from resilient mom to a punchline in commentary channels that dissect her every inconsistency. She has become content for others, her own behavior a case study in toxic influencer culture. And the children? They suffer the real consequences, being dragged through motel summers and live-streamed fights, only to find brief relief in a classroom. Even there, the shadow of her instability and potential court violations looms. This entire case isn't just about Stephanie Jenkins. It's a sobering look at the culture that rewards her behavior. Platforms like TikTok and Facebook have, arguably, created an economy where dysfunction is monetized. Tears, whether real or fake, become currency, and children's pain is repackaged as content for likes, shares, and donations. The more performative the content, the greater the reward. This is influencer parenting at its worst.
Let's take a look at an example from me. My RPM was 0.79, so that means every 1,000 qualified views, I get about 79 cents. I'm nobody. My RPM right here, that's low. Imagine what the people who are getting millions and millions and millions of views, because that's what it takes to get paid, what they are making. They are lying in your face. So next time somebody says, oh, go on my Amazon wish list and buy something for my kiddos so they can have a good Christmas, don't bother. Don't bother.
Where mothers allegedly frame themselves as victims, while their children's well-being is a secondary thought, if it's considered at all. This isn't resilience, it's exploitation. The danger lies in how many others are watching, learning, and replicating this formula, believing that emotional chaos equals virality. When motherhood becomes a performance, the children lose twice. Once in real life during the chaos, and again online when their trauma is repackaged as entertainment. The case of Stephanie Jenkins is a microcosm of a larger sickness within influencer culture, where vulnerability is faked for clicks, and families are allegedly sacrificed at the altar of content creation. The verdict from many in the online community is clear. She's allegedly guilty of manipulation, guilty of exploiting her children, and guilty of valuing optics over substance. But for now, the jury, you, the audience, are the ones who get to decide. What do you think? Leave your verdict in the comments below.
The reason Stephanie Jenkins won't divorce her convicted felon PDF husband is because she will not sign the papers. Their divorce records have just been discovered. As you can see here, dissolution of marriage with children. This is Stephanie's legal name. And right here, you can see that the petitioner is her PDF convicted ex-husband. Or should I say legal husband, because her name is still tied to his because she will not sign the papers. He served her the papers. If you guys want to know why this guy is in prison, he's pled to multiple charges of assaulting children. Right here it says he attempted to assault another 60-year-old female. This was a person in his family. And if you guys are thinking, well, maybe she doesn't have the money to divorce him, Stephanie's mom literally offered to pay all the divorce expenses, and she turned it down last minute. There is clearly some sort of emotional factor that makes her want to be tied to this convicted PDF predator. But it makes no logical sense why she would want to stay legally married to this dude. You're in a new relationship with another bum, yes. Or is it the fact that he served her the divorce papers? Because that's what happened. He wanted to divorce her, not the other way around, clearly.
However, when I went to the comments, there was one comment that wasn't about the eyes that made me do a little research. Someone said, how come we never hear this baby making baby noises? Like she doesn't babble or coo. I was like, that can't be right. So I went back through some of the other videos, and yeah, in the last couple of months, you don't hear the baby making those typical baby noises. But in her defense, a lot of her videos are voiceovers, and we do see the baby smiling, so she could be making noises then. But we don't know what the background noise is. I never paid attention to that before, but it's something to think about. I hate that people are being nasty and rude about the kids. If you're concerned, be concerned, but don't be cruel. They are literal children. Anyway, I hope the baby is okay, and I hope it's just one of those things that can be easily fixed. That's all I can say. I just hope that everything is okay for those kids. And with that, my friends, we've reached the end of this digital deep dive. It's wild out there in the online world, and this whole situation is just another example of how the narrative we're told isn't always the full story. There are so many layers to this whole thing, and I'm sure new details will continue to emerge. I'll be here, as always, to break it down for you with a healthy dose of wit and a critical eye. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to me and allows me to keep doing what I love. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay in the loop on all the latest gossip and commentary, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an update. I'll see you in the next one.